Hello everyone, happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to your Advective weather update today. We're going to have a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into the overview. Starting with alerts, you can see wind alerts stretching all the way from California through the southwestern United States, stretching through Texas, moving through the southern plains, into the Midwest and Ohio Valley, and all the way up into the northeastern United States. You'll also notice numerous winter weather alerts in effect, winter storm warnings throughout the four corners, stretching all the way into parts of Colorado and Kansas, and even a little bit of Nebraska, and you can see those blizzard warnings there along the borders of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. As we continue to move on with things, here are your current conditions. You can see a rather large system here currently overspreading the United States, north to south, all the way from Minnesota to the Gulf Coast. This system is not going to bring much in terms of severe weather or anything like that today, although a small threat does exist in parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, although again, that threat is minimal. There's going to be lots of rainfall and some winter precipitation on the northern end of this as well, hence some of those winter weather alerts. And as the system moves out, we'll then move into the system of primary concern. But there's our large first system. The second system isn't really present just yet, but that'll be moving in pretty soon and starting to bring the big impacts that we're expecting throughout the week this week. Well, talking about that, this video is going to be split into three different chapters: a winter weather threat chapter, a severe weather threat chapter, and a flooding threat chapter. This is the winter weather threat chapter. It begins now. Let's start with key messages from the Weather Prediction Center. You'll notice the probability of at least 4 inches of snow greater than 50%, stretching all the way from parts of Arizona and New Mexico all the way in to parts of Wisconsin and Michigan, with the orange areas and a 70% chance, the red areas and a 90% chance on the top graphic here. So lots of snowfall to overspread the United States, stretching all the way from the four corners up to parts of Michigan. We're also going to see winter storm severity index values enhanced with extreme values and mountainous peaks, major values throughout most mountain ranges, and moderate to minor values going all the way from around the four corners, again, up to Michigan. This winter storm will develop near the four corners today and is going to spread a swath of heavy snow northeastward across the southern Rockies and across the plains Wednesday, continuing into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes on Thursday. This combination of heavy snow rates and strong winds gusting above 40 miles per hour could result in near blizzard conditions. Blizzard warnings aren't out of the question for everyone involved here, especially for the southern high plains. Considerable blowing and drifting snow, as well as low visibility, will cause dangerous travel and possible impacts to infrastructure. Further east, we're going to be seeing heavy snow rates and gusty winds as well, which will result in hazardous travel and perhaps some other disruptions to daily life, such as power outages. And there's still some uncertainty as to the exact track and intensity of the system, coupled with how much snow will fall, things like that. Again, more clarity with time, but the event begins today, so we're more confident than we have been in the past of how much snow is going to fall and where exactly it's going to fall. And that's why those winter storm severity index values continue to go up. One thing that we haven't talked about too much, but is still important, is that there will be some pretty cold temperatures behind this, some of these potentially record-breaking in the wake of this system in the southwestern United States. All right, let's get into the official forecast. Here is that winter storm severity index. You can see those moderate values stretching all the way from near the four corners up towards Michigan. And again, if you're in moderate or above, that means significant disruptions to daily life are expected. So be prepared for that. You need to be actively preparing for this winter storm if in moderate or above. If you're in the minor or limited risks, you still need to be aware, as travel could be hazardous, but significant disruptions to daily life are not expected. Be keeping an eye on this or local officials, as I am expecting some more upgrades across the Midwestern U.S. as time goes on and confidence increases on where the corridors of highest snowfall are going to occur. Well, speaking of snow, here's the official forecast over the next 2 days. So this is valid until Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll notice here around the four corners over 2 feet of snow expected in a lot of mountain peaks, with over 1 foot across most mountain ranges. Parts closer to the surface, you're still going to get 3 to 6 inches, if not more, of snow. And then as this moves out and we move from Colorado into Kansas, you can see there 6 to 12 inches possible throughout eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and then 3 to 6 inches of snow in a solid corridor moving all the way from Kansas and Nebraska all the way up towards parts of Wisconsin. That's the official forecast. You'll notice to the north as well there some snow from the system that's currently moving out. Well, here is a weather model. This is the National Weather Service blend of models. You'll notice some differences. Slightly less aggressive in terms of snowfall in the four corners, places like that, and slightly less aggressive with the system moving out today. But you'll notice a more aggressive snowfall track here, which the Weather Service could possibly upgrade to in the future later on. This is also for 3 days out instead of 2, so this kind of gives us a more full picture of what everyone can expect. You'll notice here that the National Blend of Models has a corridor of 6 to 12 inches stretching all the way from Colorado up into Michigan, although it is a bit broken, but I would say that 3 to 12 inches is possible for anyone within the blue or above the darker blue to start with. So this is going to wobble around a bit. There's some confidence intervals here for sure, but I would be expecting, especially again, if you're within those winter storm severity index of moderate or higher, that you're going to get some significant snowfall, half a foot of snow or more possible. Well, what can you do if in a winter storm and caught outdoors? Firstly, you need to find shelter and cover exposed body parts. That's very important. Melt your snow for drinking water. You don't just want to have straight snow, as that can lower your body temperature dangerously. And you want to exercise occasionally. Ensure that your limbs don't stiffen up, things like that, because you want to stay warm. All right, here is the chapter for the severe weather that is possible over the next few days. So this is for Wednesday and Thursday. The westernmost risk is for Wednesday, the easternmost one for Thursday, both of them slight risks. You can see the area where the slights overlap. That's where the yellow stands out the most. So you guys need to be watching on both Wednesday and Thursday for severe weather. But you'll notice there a level 2 out of 5 slight risk in the southern plains and then stretching all the way from Dixie Alley up into the Great Lakes. Let's break this down in a bit more detail. Here is tomorrow's severe risk. You can see in the slight risk we have places like Paducah, Memphis, Little Rock, Shreveport, Dallas. Jackson is in the marginal risk for this. You still need to be watching. And you'll notice there the Dallas-Fort Worth metro still in that slight risk. Let's break this down in a bit more detail. Here is the tornado threat. Those of you in the highest tornado threat tomorrow, if you're in Little Rock, Memphis, or Shreveport, you're in the highest tornado threat. And then places like Dallas, Jackson, Paducah, Nashville, you are in a lower tornado threat but still need to be watching. That's a level 1 out of 5 for Dallas, Paducah, Nashville, Jackson, level 2 out of 5 for Shreveport, Little Rock, and Memphis. As we head into the wind threat, you'll notice there are level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, level 1 out of 5 in the brown. But there you go, Dallas, Little Rock, Shreveport, Memphis, Paducah, all within the severe wind risk, level 2 out of 5. That's slight, so scattered to numerous strong winds possible. And then you'll notice as well there places like Nashville, Jackson, Lake Charles within the level 1 out of 5. Severe winds are classified as winds greater than 60 miles per hour. And then when it comes to hail, you'll notice for the risk of large hail, level 2 out of 5 in Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, and Shreveport, level 1 out of 5 for Paducah, Nashville, Jackson, Lake Charles. And again, severe hail classified as 1 inch or greater in diameter. All right, well, let's take a look at what's going to be happening here 3 days out. You'll notice this rather widespread slight risk. I wouldn't be shocked if we see an enhanced risk or a level 3 out of 5 come out of this as we do move into the future, although, again, that is not in place at this time. So you'll notice there in the slight risk we have most of the state, if not the entirety of the state of Mississippi, and a vast majority of the state of Alabama in that risk area. So that's all of Mississippi and Alabama. If you're within either of those states, you need to have your guard up. Most of the state of Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, you all need to have your guard up. Most of the state of Kentucky also within this risk. Much of Indiana within the level 1 or level 2 out of 5 risk. All of Ohio within one of the two. And then you'll notice here that severe risk stretches up into the northeast a little bit as well. So lots of places need to be keeping a close eye on things 3 days out as the severe risk does approach. We'll keep you updated with daily videos as time goes on. All right, well, I think the best way to look at this is to look at a weather model. This model is going to show from around 6 a.m. tomorrow to 6 a.m. on Friday what's happening. You can see those storms there firing off. This is on Thursday morning into the afternoon. So you'll notice the most widespread weather is expected there on Thursday. But if we take a look at the risk areas for Wednesday, as this loops back around, pay attention. You'll see a few smaller storms that might be firing up there along a boundary of some sort. Again, they're smaller though, and then you'll see they fire in bigger fashion as we head into Thursday. So the more widespread threat is expected on Thursday at this time, although on Wednesday we could still see some severe weather. Level 2 out of 5 for both days. That's an equal risk for now. Let's take a look at now the third and final chapter of this video. That is the flooding chapter. So here's the flood threat. Mostly we're going to be talking about what's going on 3 days out here. So this is for Thursday, and you'll notice that slight risk there that includes places like Huntsville. It's north of Atlanta, Georgia, moving into parts of eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina as well. So that's where the highest flooding threat is currently expected. And when it comes to rainfall, here's what we're expecting. You'll notice there that corridor of 2.5 to 3 inches possible there in northern Mississippi. And then again, 1.5 inches of rain or more. That's that purple region stretching all the way from near Jackson, Mississippi, a bit north of there, stretching all the way through and heading into parts of Tennessee, including Nashville. You'll notice, though, that we do have widespread precipitation overspreading much of the country, whether it be rain or snow, stretching again all the way from the four corners through and then impacting pretty much the entire eastern half of the country. So this is going to be a very widespread system causing lots of rain, lots of precipitation for much of the country. All right, well, what can you do? First things first, make a severe weather plan. Make it today, make it now, especially if you're in the risk tomorrow or on Thursday. It's better to do it now than last minute, so that way when you need to act, you can and you know exactly what to do. You can go to ready.gov/make-a-plan or weather.gov/tornado in order to see more information on how to do that. The other thing is flood safety. There are 3 simple steps for flash flood safety. Get to higher ground and make sure that you are out of areas subject to flooding. Do not drive into water. Turn around, don't drown, and stay informed. So make sure you have multiple ways to get weather alerts. That can be broadcast, weather radio, weather app, but you need to have more than one way to get weather alerts as well. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We do hope that this video was useful to you. You can join us at the link below in our Discord server where we'll be chatting about this severe weather event, and we'll have some community events coming up soon as well. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you didn't, you know where that button is as well. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.